My wife slept with 7 men while we took a break to work on our marriage. Hi, welcome to my channel. Today, we've got a story from our /relationship_advice where Op found out that his wife slept with 7 men while they were on a break to work on their marriage. Before we start, if you have any personal stories of how you got out of a toxic relationship with your cheating wife or girlfriend that you want to share, feel free to email them to me. Let's get started. Original story. My wife and I have been married for 6 years. We have no children. Last July, tensions were high between us. I'm an essential worker, I work the night shift and sleep during the day while she's at work. She was working from home due to COVID and was very loud. This kept waking me up and making me a very crabby person. So I was admittedly very short with her and she was not accommodating to me at all. As a result, the time we did have together was very tense between us. It's normally a very happy time, but we weren't able to enjoy it at all. We decided to do a trial separation, both go to therapy separately and try couples therapy after a few months. As my company was frontline, they offered to put us up in a hotel so as not to risk our families, so I took advantage of this and moved out. I asked my wife for ground rules. My exact wording was, so that I understand this, are we seeing other people during this time? She angrily replied, if that's the first place your mind goes, then maybe it's not even worth it. I want to save our marriage, not give you an opportunity to go screw around. I apologized and assured her that I only wanted to understand where we stood. So over the past year, I've been in therapy. I talked to my boss and got my shift at work changed to the day shift because I realized that the night shift was taking a toll on my mental health. I've learned to be firm but open and communicative and not bottle things up. I honestly feel so much better about myself as a person. My wife and I started couples counseling at the beginning of this year, and it's been great for us. We both were open about what was wrong, recognized the faults that we had, and committed to wanting to make things better. We decided for me to move back in next month and bring the separation to an end. During our most recent session, our counselor asked if I had completely broken off any relationships that I had during our separation. I replied, I didn't have any relationships during our separation. We established ground rules that this wasn't about having fun with other people, it was about getting better for our relationship to survive. My wife replied, we never established that as a ground rule. I quoted her words back to her and she responded, well, I was letting you know that shouldn't be your main focus. I mean, if you were just going to go fool around with random women and not try to improve yourself, then there was no point in trying to save things. I responded, so you were using weasel words to have things both ways. Did you date anyone? She, unashamedly, stated that she had slept with 7 men during the past year, that it was perfectly allowed, and I was free to be with someone else if I so chose. She stated that if I didn't want that I should have clearly stated it. I countered that when I tried to broach it, she got angry and shut the subject down, and now she was trying to rewrite history. I told her at this point I need to think if I want to move in again or even try any more because it's clear that she treated the last year as a free pass to sleep around on me. She says that I need to grow up and get over it. I responded, see, that's where you're wrong. I don't need to do either of those things, I just need to get over you, and after today I feel like that's going to be the easier thing to do. She insists that I'm in the wrong on this and that when you're separated, it's completely understood that you're free to see other people. Honestly, this behavior, the weasel words, deliberately ambiguous statements, and the constant deflection, are the things that triggered me to blow up at her in the past, and the fact that it's still happening is just leading me to feel like I need to file for divorce and walk away. Am I making too much of this? I feel like I've made so much progress in therapy and I know she has too, but I just feel disgusted every time I look at her. I feel like she cheated on me, and I get so angry. I don't know if there's any way to move forward with her. She keeps saying she did everything right and I need to stop trying to punish her because I didn't explore while I could. Would I be the worst person in the world for filing for divorce at this point? I feel like I'm too close to this situation and can't think straight. What the hell do I even do at this point? I've been working for a year to fix my marriage and I thought she was too. Now I feel like we've been working on opposing teams. Update. I've gotten a few requests for updates, and as much as I'm embarrassed over this whole thing, I think it helps to get it out. We're getting divorced. Shortly after the big revelation, our counselor asked to speak to me one-on-one. She told me, you need to walk away for your own health. You've made so much progress and so many positive changes. This won't work unless you're both trying and Tina is not trying. This can't all be on you because she'll keep dragging you back down. She told me that she was crossing a line by telling me what to do, but she literally could not sleep after finishing up our session and seeing the look on my face. When I thought about it, she's right. I've been using this time to become a better, more rounded person while my wife has been using it as a free pass to act like a teenager and has kept up the deceitful gaslighting behaviors that plagued our marriage for far too long. When I told her it was over, she broke down sobbing. She begged me not to leave, told me that I could have a free pass to go do what I wanted to get even, and swore that if I'd been clear she never would have touched another man. I have to admit, I felt myself wanting to say yes because for a second she was the woman I fell in love with again. But it was just a second that I knew would end, and we'd be back to walking on eggshells and playing head games soon enough. I told her that we both deserved better than the people we had been to each other, and the fact that she thought I wanted revenge and still blamed me for her actions told me that she hadn't learned to be better. She told me she'd do anything to make it work and asked what I wanted to see from her. I told her that I'd seen everything I needed from her, and if she could only be better when divorce became a reality, then she hadn't made the progress I believed she had before that session. I served her with papers and am moving forward with a divorce. She's asked me to please resume counseling sessions, but I've refused. I know it's the right decision, but I feel very conflicted. There's something inside me that feels like I'm doing wrong, even though I know it's the only way I'll eventually be happy. Before we take a look at some replies by other Redditors, take a moment to like the video to show your support to the channel. Don't forget to leave your own opinion on the story in the comments down below. Now let's look at some comments. Red_81 wrote. I just read the first post. NGL, when she tried to twist what the rules of the separation were after the fact, it had my blood boiling. I'm glad you have seen the light and know that trying to save the marriage was a fool's endeavor. Good luck moving forward. The_notorious_rough wrote. Your counselor is a true MVP. Never saw that coming. Also, she begged me not to leave, told me that I could have a free pass to go do what I wanted to get even, and swore that if I'd been clear she never would have touched another man. Even at that point, she couldn't admit she was wrong and tried to blame it on you again. Your counselor was right. Your ex is a terrible person. Psychonaut Skittle wrote. I also want to say that your therapist has insights into how she was responding during the year that you do not. The therapist was able to see and hear things that you were not privy to. She is not saying since she slept around, you should move on. The therapist said she is not actively working on growing. What the therapist was saying is exactly what you have stated. Basically that she takes no accountability for her own actions and growth. It would not have taken a single episode or 7 episodes of her sleeping with other men that would cause the therapist to think that and come to that conclusion. It's much more complex, and it's much more about the way your wife's mind works. I don't think the therapist was even referring to the fact that she was sleeping with other people. She has not made progress, she did not try to grow, her manipulations are still working with you a little bit. Continue with the divorce, and talk about your feelings in therapy about it. Good luck to you. Cirrus_the_virus05 wrote. Way to go, man. That is great. A relationship is not only about caring for someone else, but also understanding what you want from life. Our time is precious and we do not have to spend it on toxic relationships. The Mockingbird wrote. Her excuse about ground rules not being set is ridiculous. You don't set expectations of fidelity in a marriage, even when separated. If she wanted to see other people, it should have been discussed beforehand. Blaming you for not being the one to lay down rules is manipulation on her part. Unless someone explicitly stated that you were single and free to see others, then the implication of the separation was for the two of you to spend time apart to work on yourselves. Sleeping with 7 dudes is not her working on herself in marriage. This was infidelity. Her being transparent about it now doesn't change that because she should have discussed this earlier on. I'd only excuse that sort of thing if the separation was a step towards divorce, but that wasn't the case here. Jibe Sindak Welples wrote. I love your counselor, what a genuine woman who cares deeply about her client's well-being. Congratulations on your freedom op, I'm glad you're finally out of there and on your way to a recovery of self-love. Take the time to mourn the loss of your relationship, but also celebrate your success. Never again will someone else be able to manipulate you the way she did. You've become a much stronger person just by saying not this time. Lovely Joey21605 wrote. You said that there's something inside of you that feels like you're doing the wrong thing, even though you know it's the only way you'll eventually be happy. I hope this helps put that to rest. You are making the right decision. You are a faithful husband to your wife, following the ground rules you both set during separation. Blowing up when broaching the subject on seeing other people, and refusing to talk about it is the same as setting the obvious ground rule, no seeing other people allowed. She decided to blow up your marriage. She made that call. You're just living your life accordingly. I sincerely wish you the best, stranger, chin up. Beb252 wrote, I followed your story and I commented on your original post last time. Separation for a married couple is not the same as breakups for an unmarried couple. Technically, you are still married, so you're not supposed to have sex with other people unless you are inclined on making the separation permanent. i.e., divorce. What your soon-to-be ex-wife did was despicable. She not only had sex with 1 but 7 people during that short period. It seems like instead of healing during that separation, she spent her life carefree as if she got rid of the only obstacle on her life, which is you. Throwaway Fallen Angel wrote, a lot of the conflict you feel has to do with having to shift goals. For the past year, you were in counseling to save your marriage, realize that you need to save yourself from it is a major change, and going from we to me may initially feel jarring. And it should. No one puts in this much work just to fail, even if that failure isn't their fault. To be clear, I'm not saying at all that you did, but that emotions will linger around this shift, and clearly as the partner who emotionally invested more, you'll feel this more. Despite my knowing it was right and later regretting I didn't divorce sooner, at the time it was happening I was so preoccupied with the feeling of failure. Your counselor took the unusual step to tell you what she did, knowing that your first instinct may have been to keep working on it. And knowing all this time your soon-to-be ex was taking you for a ride, I wish I had that support sooner, as I would have left sooner. All we have is the time we're given now. Don't waste it on someone or something that will just deprive you of a real chance at being happy. B1GD1CV1 Urgent wrote, your counselor cares about you far more than that ex-wife of yours. Forward march, my brother. That feeling for your ex will fade with time. You can't instantly cut someone out of your heart, it takes time. During this time, be strong. Talk to your counselor, make new friends, keep the day shift you got at work, pick up relaxing and fun hobbies that are good for your mental health, even gaming, learn a new language, or a new hobby/skill, work out and hit the gym. Whatever you do, don't keep anything that could remind you of her. Congratulations, you got this. What do you think about all of this? Did Op do the right thing by divorcing his wife? Let us know in the comments down below. If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this. Hit the notification bell to make sure you never miss an upload.